Boring meeting. Jay's already asleep.
Well, my watch reads 7:00 p.m. So I'd like to welcome everybody to the special council meeting for tonight, which is Tuesday, February 9th, 2021. Ms. Ledger?
Yes.
Should you read that first part or should I?
The city of Dayton,
Kentucky? Or does it need to be
I'll
read?
read it. The city of Dayton, Kentucky will hold a special council meeting that will be viewable to the public via electronic media and the web on Tuesday, February 9th, 2021. The link to the meeting will be posted to the Dayton's website at www.daytonky.com and Facebook page 48 hours prior to the meeting. The special council meeting will begin at 7 p.m.
Thank you very much. Now, may we please do a roll call?
Yes. Mayor Baker?
Here.
Member Volter?
Here.
Member Neary?
Here.
Member Neiman?
Here.
Member Kelly?
Here.
Member Baszler?
Here.
City Administrator Fawcett? City Attorney Edmondson?
Here.
I'm here. I was on mute. This is Jay.
That's okay.
All in attendance for the most part. So now I'd like to move to a moment of silence, and then we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. I have a flag behind my right shoulder. Please use that. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Tonight again is a special meeting. There's only a couple things on the topic, and we are not allowed to, by law, veer from those topics. I believe everybody has a copy of their agenda. So the first thing regards the resignation of Council Member Tammy Cornett on February 2nd at 2:45 in the afternoon. She sent a letter to myself and City Administrator Fawcett, and I'll read it verbatim. This is to inform you that I am resigning from Dayton City Council effective immediately. Regards, Tammy Cornett. We accepted that letter, and we believe the law now states that it has to be accepted by council pursuant to KRS 83A.040. We'll declare it vacant, and then we can move from there. So do I have a motion to accept for Order 2021 number 4R, Member Cornett's resignation from City Council and declaring a vacancy pursuant to KRS 83A.040.
So moved.
Member Neary's made the movement.
Second.
Second by Mr. Volter. This opens it up for discussion.
Question,
Yes,
how
sir.
long do we have to fill the vacancy?
Great question. Mr. Edmondson, I believe you'll correct me if I'm wrong here, sir. We have 30 days from the resignation to fulfill the vacancy on council before the governor's office, Mr. Andy Bashir, would be able to step in and appoint someone. Am I correct, Mr. Edmondson?
That's correct, Mayor.
Thank you, sir.
So March 2nd.
Is it a day of acceptance or the day of council accepting?
It's today.
Yes, sir. So March 9th.
Well, actually, there's only 28 days in February, so it's probably a couple days after that, but March 2nd is the city council meeting.
Well noted, sir. Do we have any other comments regarding Order 2021 number 4R? We have a motion by Member Neary, a second by Member Volter. Roll call, please, Ms. Ledger.
Member Neiman,
Aye.
Member Kelly,
Aye.
Member Baszler,
Aye.
Member Volter,
Aye.
Member Neary.
The ayes have it. I believe I speak for the group when we say Ms. Cornett has been a great city council aide, and we really wish her the best in her resignation and her retirement from city council, and hope she has a healthy and happy 2021. Which brings us along to the next piece of discussing regarding the process and timing for naming her replacement. So as it was mentioned, we have until the 9th-ish of March to name her replacement. Do we have any discussion?
Can you maybe share with the community what the process is for that?
Mr. Edmonton?
You have as much latitude as you want to determine what that process looks like. So you guys can accept resumes, you can invite people to apply, you can solicit people. It's completely up to you. There's no statutory guidance as to how you go about that process, only that you have to have a meeting in public, and you can't do anything in closed doors.
I agree with that.
Sir, by a meeting in public, you mean to approve the replacement, not to have the individual conversations, correct?
That's correct. I mean, you can individually decide on who you want to talk to and meet with and solicit. You just can't do it if it's a majority of council.
Right. So in other words, especially with only 5 of us, 3 would be a quorum, so we can only have one-on-one conversations in the interim, correct?
Or you could create a committee, whatever you guys ultimately want to do to work through and whittle down. And then and the ones that I've been involved in, and it's been 2 at this point, is they handled it totally differently. Some people had people come in and address council, and then they had a public discussion about it. Others just took applications and resumes and made a decision amongst themselves without the personal interviews. So it just depends on what you want to do.
If you do a committee, that will have to be public. You'll have to go through this whole process with Zoom meeting, and so the public can get in on that. So if you're doing a committee process, that will be public.
So it's 30 days from today, correct?
That's correct.
Which would actually be March 11th, not the 9th. I propose that, and to the rest of council and to Mayor Baker, this is a council's decision on this, that we solicit anyone who wants to apply to the position to send their resume or an application or even just a letter. I presume we have that email address, info@daytonky.com, correct?
Yes,
Correct.
sir.
We did a press release, Commissioner and council member, that told people that's how they would apply for the job. I think that went out on Friday of last week or Thursday last week. It was probably
It went out on the 6th.
6. Okay.
I, for one, would be fine with that. The only issue is really we've only got, well, now we have 30 days from today, but we have a city council meeting on March the 2nd, which is 3 weeks from now. So I would put the encouragement to everybody to get those applications in as soon as possible, because especially with the limitations of only 2 of us being able to talk at a time to not violate open meetings, that people get their application, resume, letter, or contact a city council person as soon as possible so that we can vet all the candidates.
I would suggest that if council members know of qualified individuals who might be of interest to be on council, that they personally contact them. And I also encourage each of us to talk one-on-one with each other about our findings in this process, so that we can all be on the same page when it comes time.
Mayor, if I may.
You may.
It also may be good for the public to understand and learn that there will not be a special election. You'll be serving for the remainder of the term, which is just under 2 years. So you can become a part of the community and council member without having to go through the pain of knocking on doors and soliciting people personally. So what an opportunity for people who may want to be a part of public service and not have to go through the rigors of a campaign.
Yeah, you don't need 600 votes, you only need 3.
Right.
You call it a pain. I enjoy it.
Well, for the other council members, what are your opinions, feelings, et cetera, on the process?
I think anyone, who has an interest, I encourage them to apply. I think that that's, a good way to make sure that someone really wants to serve and finish out this term.
I agree. I encourage anyone to send in an application. I'd love to get this filled by March 2nd. And also, anyone who sends in applications or emails, then are you going to have them at the city building and we come in and review them as council people, or how is that going to work?
Given that this isn't a personnel decision, I think it would be okay to share those via email. Do you agree, Mr. Edmondson?
You're talking about the actual documentation that comes in. As far as for all the
if Bob Smith, maybe there is Bob Smith in Dayton who wants to be on city council, wants to apply and it comes into info, the email would be shared with all of council, because currently for open positions, if council wants to view resumes, they have to come on site and view them due to personnel issues, social security numbers, current jobs, et cetera. But since this doesn't really involve those types of things, do you think it's okay to share them via email?
I do. It's an open record anyway. So anyone that applies to the job, somebody wanted to get it, we would have to turn it over. So you can, as long as there's no discussion on the email threads and trees, we're fine.
Okay,
So all the applications, list of applicants, et cetera, are open records, correct?
They are.
I'm fine with the transparency on that, not a problem.
And I would also add that since I don't think that there's actually a document that exists that is a application, that the prospective council member write maybe like a personal cover letter and then attach a resume to it, as opposed to per se like having a form that they're filling out. Anyone care to comment on that one?
That's great because, yeah, it may just be an email saying, please consider me for city council. And if council determines that that is the best candidate for the position, I don't want to make it just based on a flowery resume. It's really, for me, it comes down to community service involvement. And I mean, everybody cares about the city, but it's going to be how they fit in with this council.
Yeah, I think just maybe a letter of interest.
Can we put, there's a sense of urgency here because we can't wait until March, the afternoon of March 2nd. I don't think we should. Is there any legal reason we could put a must be submitted by date, Mr. Edmondson?
It wouldn't be a legal reason. It's just be your all's preference. You're making the rules as far as this process for either interviewing or person applying. So if you choose to say, look, we're only going to consider applications up to a certain point, that's your policy, that's your decision.
Then I would recommend, if there is any advertisement on this or if anybody's watching that's involved, March 1st should be the deadline since we have to decide and vote the next day or have a special meeting the following week. I don't know if all the council agrees with that, but I'd push for a March 1st deadline.
I mean, I think it should be before that, because if we need to individually talk to each other about all of the candidates, I don't think one day for those of us that have other jobs would make any sense. So I would cut it. I would probably shoot for an earlier date than that. I think a couple weeks we could get the word out.
Friday the 26th would leave us the weekend. We'd leave 27, 28, the 1st, and then the meeting would be on the 2nd.
I'm
I
comfortable.
like that, Beth. Friday the 26th.
Yeah, I was going to say I want anything over 2 week, like the 2 weeks-ish mark really would put us under the gun. So yeah, the 26th would be a good day to close.
I'm fine with that. So Mayor, if you would keep all of council advised of applications being, especially if it's only a hard copy application being received at the city building rather than an email. Mr. Edmondson, can the mayor advise that so-and-so has applied, or how can he communicate to us that there are applications at the city building for our consideration?
Yeah, all he's doing is disseminating information. So you could have direct the Madam Clerk to send you the emails, documentation. I mean, all that's happening is there's no discussion, it's just dissemination. There's nothing wrong with that.
Would it be possible to number them so we know, like, if it's number 7, I should be accountable for 1 through 6? Like everyone that comes is numbered? Yes.
Jay, you're muted.
There you go. Oh.
Yeah. As Alex said, you are all setting the rules. So anything you all want to decide, and if you want to number them in a sequential order, you can do that. That's fine.
Okay.
However you all want to do it.
Okay.
Just number the information as it comes in and send it to us. Get it to us right away.
Thank you.
What action do we need to take to make this legal? Do we need to make a motion here? Do we need to have a vote on it, or just put this information out in an open meeting?
You're effectively doing it by the minutes. One thing I would be remiss if I didn't mention, your timetable does not allow or allot for any personal question and answer potentially with your candidate. So sometimes you may want to ask some questions of candidates about various philosophies and views, or gives them the opportunity to actually come in and talk to you and make their spiel. Again, that's totally up to you. It's just I haven't had a resignation in COVID. So usually people come to the meetings right before the vote and they want to address council and say, here's why I'm the right person.
So I would say that if we have their personal information when we get their letter of interest sent to us, it's upon each of us to contact them and ask them questions if we have questions, or ask if they have any questions. It should be our responsibility individually to do that. That's just kind of the way I feel about it. I don't know how everybody else feels, but
Well, and all of us have our city email information on the city website. So anyone can reach out to any of us also. But I'd be cool with that. Cut it off no later than Friday, 5 o'clock, end of business day on the 26th of February. And as they come in, to have administration advise all 5 council members that there's applications that have been received. If any are received by email, to disseminate them via city email to all 5 sitting council members. And we should have open one-on-one discussions as they come in. And if any of the council members know of anybody that they want to serve with or sit beside them when we do get back to meeting together again, reach out to them. And if any citizens are interested in this, reach out to a city council person or just put in your application. I'm fine with that.
And Donna, that would just be reflected in the minutes that that's the protocol and the council's wish, and handled accordingly.
Okay, yes,
Well,
sir.
does everybody on council agree to that?
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's just basically we're going by a cover letter. We've let go of a resume, but just a cover letter. Is that what we're looking for now?
It could even be a personal meeting. I mean, there is no minimum on this application. If they want to send a full-blown resume of 30 pages, or if they just want to call you up and say, hey, Beth, I'm interested, get to talk to your other council people, I think all of those need to be considered.
What are we recommending though? I mean, should they have something that all of us are going to see, something consistent, like at least a letter?
That would be the recommendation, yes. And maybe even followed up in addition to that, to have an email or a contact with one or more of the sitting city council people, so that we're aware that they put their name in.
I would suggest that we do, get at least a written, letter of interest, so that there, is a paper trail of documentation that, this person has expressed the interest in being a member of council.
Even if it's an email, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, because I know I'm always running out of printer cartridges here. I'd hate to have somebody have to go to Staples or something to get something printed out.
And it'll be mailed to either the city or to Dayton or info at Dayton, Kentucky, right? They're not sending anything to individual council people.
Correct. It should be probably sent to the mayor or the info email on the website.
Mr. Baszler, are you good with all of this?
Yes, sir.
So since that's reflected in the minutes, we don't need a motion or anything along those lines. I think we're good to go. I hope we get a lot of good candidates, and I hope this is as difficult a decision as the mayor's having with the city administrator and city attorney openings.
Is there any other discussion regarding the process and timing for naming Ms. Cornett's replacement? Do I need a motion to close this portion?
No.
Just
No.
discussion. All right. Well, like I said, there's two things on the agenda tonight. The second one would be order 2021 number 5 Romeo. Mr. Fawcett and I have received some information from the Area Development District, and that is allowing for delinquent utility bills to have some COVID relief in case somebody didn't make as much money this year as they did last year, or whatever reason that they are delinquent due to COVID. And there's an opportunity for us to be able to help our citizens with those utility bills. Would you like to add anything onto that, Mr. Fawcett?
Yeah, I'll give you a little background about it. We learned about this through the Northern Kentucky Ed District, and apparently there is some community development block grant funds available for this program. That's a federal program that's administered to cities and counties in the state through the Department of Local Government. And so what they're allowing cities and counties to do is apply for up to $200,000 per city for residents who are delinquent on utility bills. So the program is basically going to be done in conjunction with some like, what do they call it? A local nonprofit community service provider. So that's probably the Community Action Commission or the Brighton Center, and they will be ones that will be working with the city and have their residents will go to these nonprofit community service providers. They have to show a valid ID, a copy of current utility provider statement with the residential address on it, and proof of household income owned over the last month or 4 weeks. So there will be some requirements of vetting whether they would qualify for this program. This would be for electric, gas, I believe also sewer, water, any type of utilities that they are currently paying or not paying, as the case may be. I think that the Ed District is working with utilities to try to get a list of those. I know I received a list from SD1 about delinquencies in our community. I think about 2 weeks ago from Angela Cook at SD1, and I'm sure that the other utilities will also provide that information to NKADD because they will get paid under this program. So what the program says is that each household may receive up to $250 per month. The household must be in arrears and receipt of a notice of disconnect between January 21, 2020 and the present day, and the assistance is up to 6 consecutive months. So there will be a clearinghouse that this goes through. So the Ed District is kind of formulating these rules. We will have to have a public hearing on this, which we will schedule for the March 2nd meeting. So that in a nutshell is what the program is about. Again, this is the program is being developed as we speak. So more details become available as this moves on. So that's basically the background about the program.
Thank you very much, Mr. Fawcett. Is there any, I guess we should first make a motion. Would anybody like to accept Order 2021 number 5R, the Community Development Block CD grant application in the amount of $200,000 to provide utility relief funding to our residents?
So
I'll
moved.
make the motion to accept it.
Ms. Kelly had it first because ladies first. Second, Mr. Baser, would you like to make that?
I would like to second that motion.
All right, second is made. Do we have any comments regarding this rather important and adventurous application?
Mr. Fawcett, just to clarify on this, the city is applying for it, but the city will not be handling any of the funds, correct?
That's how I understand. Yes, that's what I understand. There'll be a clearinghouse, and then the local nonprofit will be doing the actual interface with the residents.
So it won't be going into a line item in our budget or anything like that, correct?
I don't think so, but I don't know. Again, this program is still, we just got in the very beginning of it, so I'm not sure of those details at this point.
And Brighton Center or Community Action Committee is going to be the deciders. They're going to be vetting the applications for the funding relief, correct?
Yeah, I'm not sure if those two in particular, I just use them as examples, but it will be a nonprofit similar to them. And the money would be paid directly to the residents. It won't go through, it will go from wherever those funds are, they will be paid directly to, I'm sorry, to the residents, but to the utilities, not the residents, to the utilities, not the residents.
Understood. Thank you. Sounds like a great program. I know there's a lot of people in a pinch right now, and this is a great relief. Thanks for finding this.
You're welcome. Well, thank the Ed District. They're the ones that brought it to our attention.
Do we have any other discussion regarding Order 2021 number 5 Romeo? All right. Again, we received money from COVID for the city, for businesses. This is a chance for average citizens to have some relief. So with Member Kelly making the motion and Member Baszler seconding it, can I have a roll call vote, please, Ms. Letcher?
Yes. Member Kelly?
Yes.
Member Baszler?
Aye.
Member Volter?
Aye.
Member Neary?
Aye.
Member Neiman?
Aye.
2021, number 5, Romeo has unanimously passed.
Sir, if I could on this, Mr. Fawcett, when will we be putting the details out about this? Because I'm sure we're going to have citizens asking, how do they apply? What are the terms, et cetera, et cetera.
I think we'll get more details. I will send you a PowerPoint that I have about it that kind of spells out the general terms. That's all I have at this point. I'll share that with the city council, but as soon as I get more details, I'll share that with you. I'm going to reach out after tonight's vote to the ad district and seek further direction from them about what we need to do to move this forward.
So this is a CBDG grant. Is this motion tonight accepting that grant or applying for it?
Just applying for it.
Thank you. I wanted to clarify that.
And that's right.
We received no money yet. It's just us applying for it.
And we have to be approved. I mean, they look at whether you've been audited with CBG funds. They'll look at a lot of things before they determine whether we qualify. I don't think we have any issues like that, but they were going to vet us and all the applicants before they award these monies.
So it's not a done deal, but we're allowing city administration to apply for it, and hopefully it will be a done deal.
May I ask what the ad district is? I don't think I've heard of that organization.
It's the Northern Kentucky Area Development District, and there are, I think, 7 or 8 of them around the state, and they are kind of a clearinghouse for federal funds that come into communities. So when like community block grant funds come from the federal government to go into state government, and then they help cities and counties with those funds apply for grants. They're helping us also with the city administrator search. So they're kind of an arm that helps local governments on different types of things. And this is a good example of what they do by being the person or the organization that helps us get federal funding from the state.
Well, thank you.
All right, again, with that being the 2 topics on tonight's agenda, special meeting, we can't talk about anything else. Would anybody like to make a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Member Volter's made the move. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Member Neiman. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any nays?
Aye.
Aye.
Any abstentions? This concludes tonight's special council meeting for Tuesday, February 9th, 2021.